today on 2+U Nevada.
We always, in public health, we always look at that school break as kind of a reset. But over the last 2.5 weeks, we've seen our flu cases skyrocket.
We sit down with Northern Nevada Public Health's District Health Officer, Dr. Chad Kingsley, where Washoe County stands with cases of the flu and why it's not too late for you to get the vaccine.
We are just so excited that kids love to write and we love to read their writing.
The 2026 PBS Reno Writers Contest is open for entries. The children's contest, how you can get your kiddos involved. Plus,
well, we handle a lot of things. We do water, fire, mold's a big one, especially for real estate transactions, if there's any trauma or bio cleanups.
The massive undertaking of a home's restoration and why 911 restoration is the place to turn when you have that unexpected emergency. You're watching 2+U Nevada. Thank you for joining us for this edition of 2+U Nevada. I'm Sarah Johns, your host. It is Wednesday. For any of you who've messed up the days of the week this week due to Washoe's schools being off on Monday, today is Wednesday. You're welcome. I've been messing up all day. But with that, usually the school break is a time for people to get a little healthier. This year, school break has been one of the worst couple weeks for the flu. And going right now, Northern Nevada Public Health is holding a free flu vaccine clinic at the county offices for the next few hours. One thing to remember, if you cannot get the vaccine, District Health Officer Chad Kingsley tells me, if you are in a sensitive health group, be sure to be vigilant, washing your hands and social distance yourself. We sit down with him next. We also have an awesome discussion with PBS Reno. For anyone out there who has a kiddo who loves writing, listen up. The annual writing contest is now underway. It's such a cool program for our area children, and they can become published authors. Don't go anywhere. We are thrilled to have you joining us today for 2+U Nevada. You are watching 2+U Nevada. Joining us this afternoon, Dr. Chad Kingsley, the District Health Officer for Northern Nevada Public Health, to discuss something that is so important. We're seeing it all over the news, but really and truly, it's a discussion in the community, how bad the flu is this year.
Yeah, right. We're seeing a lot of people saying, you hear a lot of anecdotal information that, man, I got the flu. I've been laid out for 2 weeks. We're seeing a lot of those cases, and we've seen we're seeing that within our hospitals as well, too.
You know, social media, thank goodness. My husband and I were like, oh my gosh, thank goodness that we were out of town for the last 2 weeks, because it seems like it hit right around Washoe County's school break, like winter break and everybody getting together for Christmas.
We did, and we always, in public health, we always look at that school break as kind of a reset. But over the last 2.5 weeks, we've seen our flu cases skyrocket.
So is it that people are catching it at school and then bringing it home, or just the time of the year?
I think we're seeing some of it's that. So it's just bringing it a little bit from home, but also we've seen a more, it's been in the news, the H3 variant, which is a lot more aggressive. So also, right, we also had Christmas, we have our holidays where we gather. So we're seeing a lot more cases of just cross-infections, so.
And you mentioned the H3 variant. So if you get the flu shot, what is that based off of? Was it Australia's flu season? Like, is that how they kind of determine which flu strain they're going to inoculate us for?
Definitely, yeah. So they take it across the world. They see where the most common variant is. So this year, while the flu vaccine is not targeted specifically for H3, just because it's not perfect doesn't mean it's not effective. So when you do get the flu vaccine, it does help boost your immunity across, overall and strengthen it. So you either will see no symptoms, or if you do get symptoms, you'll see less severe symptoms. Instead of 2 weeks, you might only see a few days and minor symptoms. So it still helps.
And that's what we want, right?
That's what we want.
We want more minor symptoms because does that mean you're less likely to be hospitalized?
It definitely. So right now, 10% of all our cases in emergency rooms and urgent care are flu. So we don't want to overburden or tax our healthcare system. So definitely any type of immunity that we can help provide to lessen that for healthcare providers is beneficial.
And I'd be remiss if I didn't say already, Washoe County has seen, unfortunately, its first death, a 65-year-old man who did not have the flu shot.
Correct.
And so, again, the flu shot may not prevent you from getting the flu, but it may lessen its severity. Is that accurate to say?
Yeah, it's right on. And so definitely in our pod 2 populations that are most susceptible are our youngest and our oldest. So with our adults, over a lot of times they have comorbidities. So they might have diabetes, they might have blood pressure. So their immune systems are weakened. And so to get that immunity, that additional immunity to help prevent, to lower the symptoms is beneficial. And looking at our past years as well, we see that our deaths last year, the majority were unvaccinated. They were adults, but we did have a few youth that did die last year.
And that is so sad. And I think I saw in national news this morning that we have already seen a very high number of pediatric deaths due to this year's flu.
Yeah, it's not as high as the H1N1 scare that we had that a decade ago, but it is rising significantly that we are alarmed.
So if somebody in their house has already had the flu, could they still get the flu shot and have it help them throughout the rest of this summer?
Yeah, definitely. So we are offering a free clinic today. So I know we'll be announcing it, but we're always available at the health district that you can schedule an appointment. If it's cost prohibitive, we can find a way to pay for it to cover those expenses. We just want to make sure our community is safe economically as well, because if not, you being out of work for 2 weeks or your children out of school for 2 weeks is a big impact on your families.
Absolutely. It tears you down. We got the flu in our household in February. I told you this.
Yeah.
And my kids and I were down the entire month of February. 2025 is non-existent.
Yeah.
Because the three of us got the flu and it went from one to the other to the other. So again, I do want to say that if a child has had the flu, we should still get them vaccinated. If an adult has had the flu, we should still get them vaccinated.
Yeah, it helps them. Even unvaccinated, it's not too late, but if you've had the flu, still getting the vaccine will boost your immune system, because you might have previously had a different variant, and if the H3 exposed to it, you could possibly be reinfected. So getting a flu vaccine is beneficial at this time.
Okay, and what I found so interesting in taking a look at your infographic that you have on social media, I didn't know that the flu season runs until May 23rd.
Yeah.
So we're considered flu season all the way into essentially the end of school.
Yeah, we do, because there's that higher rate of exposure between kids. We can see spikes even into April, into May. Again, we have spring break, those different times that people are traveling and they could go somewhere and get exposed to a variant there and come back. Mm-hmm. So we're always watching until May.
Okay, and then also we've been mainly discussing the flu. I'd be remiss if I didn't ask you, how are we in Washoe County with the COVID situation and RSV? Both of those, very important to discuss.
Yeah, so many times we started to call these ILIs, so influenza-like illness, but RSV and COVID. We are seeing a rise, but similar to previous years, so it's not a spike that like we're seeing in influenza.
Okay, this show is from 3 to 4 in the afternoon, but you have a free vaccine clinic is it for flu, COVID, and RSV, or flu and COVID? Definitely
flu and COVID. If somebody needs RSV, we can see what we can do to be able to provide that.
Okay.
So, but definitely flu and COVID are free until 6:30 today.
Until what time again?
6:30.
6:30 today. And then, of course, if you can't make it today, Northern Nevada Public Health, always an avenue for you to get a vaccine, and you can help people figure out how to pay.
Yep.
Thank you so much for joining us this
Happy to be
afternoon.
here.
Such an important discussion.
Yeah. Thanks.
All right. You're watching 2+U Nevada. You are watching 2+U Nevada, and I'm so excited to have Rebecca Cronin and Nancy Maldonado of PBS Reno joining us this afternoon. Ladies, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you, Sarah. We're happy to be here.
I absolutely love PBS. You guys, if you watch the show at all, you know how much I love PBS. But Nancy, I just have to say thank you, because you're the Vice President of Education. So much PBS does for our kids in Washoe County schools. And I just have to say thank you, because my kids get so excited when PBS comes into the classroom.
Thank you so much, Sarah. We love what we do. I'm a retiree from the local school district, but I also just love helping kids learn and making learning fun and helping teachers. And so what we're here to share today is our annual PBS Reno Writers Contest. We've been doing it for almost 20 years now.
Really?
A long time.
I didn't
a
realize
long
it had
time.
been that long.
And we get entries from across northern Nevada and some from northeastern California. We had 3,206 entries last year, and that's the largest yet. We are just so excited that kids love to write, and we love to read their writing. It's so creative. It really brings out their energy and their ideas, and it's just really fun.
I can already tell how passionate you are about this. Like, it's so cool. But Becca, it's also got to be really cool at PBS when you're getting all of these kids' writings and you're going through and seeing what they write about.
It's super, super nice, Sarah. So after our team goes through all the entries and selects the top 12 winners, 3 winners from each grade, we have the pleasure of having these kiddos and their families come into our studio at PBS Reno, and then we record spots with each and every child, and they get to read their story. They're so excited. We run them through how to use a teleprompter. They get excited seeing themselves on the screen, and at the end of the day, we publish a little spot of each child reading their story, and it's just a super nice way to celebrate their creativity, our lovely sponsors who make the Writers Contest possible, and it's just a win-win for everybody involved.
Okay, so this writers contest has been going on for decades, but let's get into the nitty-gritty. Who participates? How does a child
Good
enter?
question. Good question. So this year, our presenting sponsor is the Rotary Club of Reno, and they're helping us get the word out to all kindergarten through 3rd grade age students. So they could be homeschool, they could be public school, they could be charter school, parochial. All of our materials are available on our website at pbsreno.org/writers contest. And they're available through teachers as well. So we try and distribute the materials as widespread as we can. And a lot of times we will contact teachers by email.
Okay.
And then, do you want to participate? And we'll send you the materials.
Okay, so in that vein, because obviously as a parent, I'm like, oh, my kids should participate. So do you have to go through your school? Does the teacher have to implement their classroom?
Good question. No, because if you're a homeschool student, you don't really have that same opportunity. So we do allow individual entries, which actually this was a winner from last year, and it was an individual. If they come from a school, we'll list their school name on their work. But that was a homeschool student who saw it and saw on the website where the materials were. Everything's there, and with all the directions on how to submit. So,
and that's really important too, because that also goes into the follow directions, and is the child following directions, meeting the specifications.
And
so what are those?
That's where a parent really comes in, or a teacher, to help. We do have guidelines. There's a minimum number of words and a maximum number of words. 5 pages, 5 illustrations, a title page. We want to make sure kids follow those requirements, and then from there it's their own creativity. But we have an overarching theme. This year it's special. So think about something that's special to you, special that you might just really be creative about. You know, I don't want to put ideas into your head.
Sure.
Right. It's just what is special. And so we do this overarching theme that really can draw out any story.
Oh,
Yeah.
I love that. And last year's theme was someday.
Someday.
So it's really cool to see that a child's interpretation of that word, of that theme, you're going to be getting a wide spectrum of entries.
Exactly, yes. And so, Sarah, all kids that participate are considered winners by us, and we make sure we return the story after the contest is over. The ones who are selected that get to go in the studio also become a published author, and we'll do a hardbound book of their story. And I'm just going to briefly show, this was the little crab with a big heart, and I believe this was kindergarten. And this was from an online school. And you can see the title page. We include the children's artwork, their own handwriting, and then we transcribe it on the other side.
So that answers another question. It doesn't have to be typed. It can be handwritten.
It can be typed, but it doesn't need to be. And I use a lot of my friends from who were teachers who can read children's handwriting. We don't even ask for perfect handwriting or perfect spelling.
Cute.
We want your creativity. Yeah.
So we're running out of time. Quickly, just let us know how you choose. It would be so hard to judge
It's
these
very
things.
hard. That's why we do multiple judges, because I would not want to be the final person that says, oh, that's first place or that's second place, because they're all winners.
Yeah.
But it's really the stories that speak to us. So when you hear the child's voice coming through their writing, that's really what we listen for. But I should probably tell you, the entries are, all of our materials are available in January. Our final day to accept stories is March 13th.
Okay, so we're going to leave it there. The deadline is March 16th. 13th. Hello, I was listening. March 13th. March 13th is the deadline. Go to pbsreno.com/writers contest for more information.
Just a quick correction, .org. pbsreno.org/writers contest.
Ladies, thank you so much for joining us. Nancy, Becca, thank you so much.
Thank you, Sarah.
You're watching 2+U Nevada. You are watching 2+U Nevada, and I am so excited to announce that we have a partnership with 911 Restoration. Chris Poland joins us, and Chris, thank you so much. Our show is now sponsored by 911 Restoration. You were one of the very first interviews that we did for this show, just as like a test run. We were like, hey, buddy, we need to test this out. Do you mind? And I love this partnership. Thank you for this.
Yeah, thank you guys. It's been very nice.
So, Chris, tell folks at home about 911 Restoration and your backstory, how it even started.
911 Restoration is a restoration company. We started about 8 years ago in the Reno area. I grew up here in Lake Tahoe and decided that, this is a good fit due to our weather and stuff like that. So we decided to start it up, and it's been 8 years now.
And when we talk restoration, we're talking about restoration in homes or businesses that are affected by a myriad of things like fire, wildfire, or home fire, flooding, etc. Kind of go into what restorations are.
Well, we handle a lot of things. We do water, fire, mold's a big one, especially for real estate transactions. If there's any trauma or bio cleanups, we handle that. And a lot of miscellaneous stuff. Sometimes things that you just don't know who would do it or clean it up. Typically, a restoration company would be able to handle that. Rodent cleanups, bear break-ins, etc., things along those lines.
Oh my gosh, I didn't even think about bear break-ins. How many of those do you have?
We probably do a couple a year. A lot of them are in the Lake Tahoe, West Shore area, up in Homewood area. They're kind of interesting. The bears break in the house, turn the water on, use the facilities in the kitchen, and kind of make a mess. And so those are, a lot of the stuff we do are property insurance claims.
Okay, but with that, because you mentioned property and insurance claims, that is one thing that you also help with, right? Like a homeowner like me has this oh crap moment, and we call you and you help with that paperwork, right? Or at least the discussion with the claims.
Absolutely. The claim process can be very frustrating for homeowners. And so we like to be the buffer between them, the insurance carrier, and the whole loss that they're going through. When the homeowners, especially some of these bigger losses, it could be kind of real frustrating, roller coaster ride for the homeowner. So we like to ease part of that, take on a lot of it, communicate with the insurance carriers, and help walk the client through the whole process. And we want the client to lean on us, and we're there to help the client to try to make it as smooth as possible.
Well, and also with that, because anyone who's ever had to go through an insurance claim or of any type of specific profession, there's language, and there's specific language that can be used to reinforce the issue. And that language, where someone like me who just has that damage may not know the specific request to make.
Absolutely. We'll want to communicate with your insurance carrier on their language to make sure that they're aware of the full extent of the loss. And then that way they can fully assess it and make their judgment calls to make sure that, everything's a lot easier for you. But yeah, there's kind of certain language and stuff, and we have the adjusters in town that help us. And so we're just there to help out the client and make it as smooth as possible.
And you bring up mold, but mold is one of those really interesting issues because you would think in Nevada, we are so dry of a climate that mold wouldn't be an issue, but we are seeing mold more and more in homes. Is that because of the ventilation or lack thereof? What causes that?
Well, a lot of it's due to the initial, if you have a water damage. In Lake Tahoe, a lot of it has to do with the alpine climate, with the attic and then the crawl space being humid and hot, and it's freezing cold outside and your attic is hot, so the condensation forms. And so a lot of the real estate transactions involve cleaning up the attic or cleaning up the crawl space.
And then of course low-hanging fruit, wildfire, right? Like wildfires in our community, we know this firsthand. Even if your home isn't burned in any way, you still have smoke or ash, and go into those types of remediation.
Yeah, the last couple of years we've been fairly lucky. We've had a couple decent ones in South Reno area that affected some houses, not as many. But what happens with the fire damage is that all the smoke and the heat pressurizes your house, and it sucks all the smoke into your house, into your attic, into your crawl spaces. Ash gets everywhere. All of your personal belongings are now smell like smoke, have dust on them, ash on them. And so we come in there, we clean up all of that, clean up all your contents. We'll even take your contents off site, store them, clean them, return them back to you, and then just, get your house nice and healthy and clean for you after the wildfires. And it could be a lot of work. We clean all the walls, the attic, the crawl spaces, all your contents, do an odor treatment. So we get your house back to where when you walk in the door, it's cleaner than before the wildfire.
Probably the cleanest it would be.
It's pretty clean.
All right, Chris, thank you so much. And then for anyone who suffers some kind of emergency and they need your services, you say call you first, right?
Call us first, absolutely. We want to help you throughout the whole claim process and make sure you have a really good contractor on your hand that's working for you versus the carrier.
Website, phone number.
Website's 911restorationreno.com. Phone number is on the website, and you'll be able to get in contact with us from there.
Wonderful. Thank you so much for joining us this afternoon.
Thank you.
You're watching 2+U Nevada. You are watching 2+U Nevada, and I am so excited to have Elsa and Dora here with us this afternoon to talk about Fiesta Party Rentals. And Elsa, I have to say, for folks at home who are regular viewers, first and foremost, thank you. And you're a familiar face.
Yes, I am.
Thank you for joining us again. So
Thank you for having us.
Fiesta Rental Central is one of your businesses. First and foremost, how did it come to be? Because you both are entrepreneurs with other businesses in town.
Yes, we are.
Absolutely, we are. So a couple of years ago, Elsa was looking for some tables and chairs for her other business that she was hosting an event. And to her great surprise, it was very difficult to get someone on the phone. There was a lot of online orders going on, etc. So we talked how there was a need in Reno, and we're like, hey, let's give this a try. And thank goodness we did. We've been able to serve a lot of customers on the phone and also online.
Able to talk to a human. Like, you guys have no idea how important that is. Also, when you're planning a party and you're trying to figure out what you need. And Elsa, I just absolutely love, because we're after Thanksgiving now, and you were telling me all of the items that you have for rent, but you can even help fulfill last minute requests, just like this past Thanksgiving.
Yes, we did. So it was about 5 different people calling us early all day, and we deliver
On Thanksgiving Day.
Thanksgiving Day, yes.
Oh my gosh. And Dora, what I love what you said is that since you are building up your inventory, if somebody doesn't see something online, they should still give you a call.
Absolutely. Yes, definitely, because we are newer and we are definitely building up our inventory. A lot of the times we're able to just get that last minute thing that someone needs just for them. So yes, we're pretty flexible.
That's so cool. Well, and just so you know, like my job before I came back here in broadcast, but came here to KTVN, I ran a nonprofit and we held a ton of events, and it was so hard to find tables, to find linens. And so you provide tables, linens, tents. Like, give me kind of a rundown for whether we're talking parties or events, or what are some of the key items that you currently have?
So we have tables, we have chairs, we have linens. We also have patio heaters, the nice bougie long patio heaters that everybody loves.
Yeah.
We have those. We have a bounce house. And I can't think of any off the top of my head, but yes, we have a pretty big inventory so far. But like I said, we're still growing. We still want to keep growing it. And we do all sorts of parties, whether it's a girls' night out, whether it's a holiday event. We also have been doing a lot of celebrations of life, which I absolutely love. So we offer free delivery for those because we know those are unexpected, and we try to give and help as much as we can. We also help nonprofits, so we also have specials for them as well.
That's so good to hear, especially from where I come from. So that's phenomenal to hear. Thank you for doing that. And ladies, I love it because when I was asking your titles, you said, oh, well, we don't have titles, best friends forever. So how did this come to be, really? Because Elsa, we had you here for another one of your local companies. And what's your company?
So I run a local bookkeeping service
And
company.
that's how I met her.
Okay.
She's our bookkeeper. And, it's funny because we were talking, her and I, we hit it up the first time we met.
I couldn't tell.
Yeah. And then our husband, we were like, okay, let's go see if our husbands can do that too. And they did. It was so nice because the four of us, we started doing stuff, This business is just Dora and I. And, our husbands are right behind us if we need it, but we try not to.
Are they the delivery men?
Nope.
They refuse to be our delivery.
Yeah.
Oh, no. We'll have to have a conversation about that.
It's okay.
This is so cool, right? Like, these are women uplifting women, and you find a need in the community because you needed rentals. And I mean, it is really hard. So I love hearing that the two of you came together to answer this need, and to hear that you're doing last minute requests and, like those space heaters, hello, especially right now, right? So if somebody is planning a party, and I gave you the example, like, let's say somebody is throwing a surprise party and they plan on holding it outside, and then all of a sudden Chris Larson or Angela Schilling say that this massive storm is coming, right? Like, how much time in advance do you really need?
So while we prefer a 2-week notice for everything, we understand there's those last minute events. And one of my favorite stories is this gentleman who was celebrating his 60th birthday up in Klein. And that's what happened. The storm started to hit. So he called us, and we had some of these nice heaters still in a box. But we got our crew down. They took them out of the box. They started screwing them together, and we were able to lend him the 2 heaters and a tent. So that saved his birthday party. He was so appreciative. He was so excited that we did it. Yeah, we did it.
That's awesome. I'm so glad to hear that you've answered this need in town. So where can people go to look at your inventory online? And remember, if you don't see it online, give them a call anyway and speak to a human. So website and phone number.
Yes. So our website is www.fiestarentalcentral.com, and our phone number is 775-444-8080.
Dora, Elsa, thank you both so much for joining us this afternoon. Can I join in on the fun? Because I think that we would have fun together. You're watching 2+U Nevada. You are watching 2+U Nevada, and I am joined this afternoon by two amazing women who are doing so much good in our community. Sheila Capurro, member, and Denise Yan, a chair of Loving Laps. Now, ladies, you were just describing to me where Loving Laps comes in the hierarchy of this volunteer, let's call it wedding cake. So we've got neighbors, newcomers, and neighbors is the big base of the cake. That's the main group. Then one tier up, we've got North-South quilters, and that's a group. And within that group, then we've got the, what do you call the cake topper? The cake topper, Loving Laps. And these ladies are with Loving Laps, and I love what you do. You, first of all, have such beautiful quilts. We'll talk about how these come to be here in a minute. But you deliver these quilts, and in fact, you just donated 350 quilts.
It's on Tuesday.
So earlier in the year, you donated 350 quilts to, Sheila, explain to me who you deliver these to.
They go to seniors that are in long-term care that maybe don't have a family member that might bring them something. And then through Catholic Charities, our nurse takes them out to homebound seniors that we deliver food to and bring a quilt to them.
And I love, you were telling me that Catholic Charities who are delivering these to the homebound seniors, nurses are actually the people who deliver it, because we've got these homebound seniors and they don't necessarily have the opportunity to go out and get something like a nice comfortable quilt to keep them warm. And the nurses are checking up on them as well.
That is correct. And delivering food. And it's all over northern Nevada. It's Elko, Ely, Winnemucca. It's all in northern Nevada.
Well, and Denise, explain to me, and I'm just going to set my notes aside for a second because this is absolutely gorgeous. I picked this one because I thought that it went with our set, and I just love the colors of this. This is so high quality, such beautiful work. And you said there could be multiple hands on one quilt. Explain the process when you ladies get together, and I assumed ladies, my bad, ladies and gentlemen, get together to quilt. You meet once a month and multiple hands make a blanket. Explain what goes into this.
So we do meet once a month on the first Tuesday, and for the day. And people can bring sewing machines if they want to actually put together a quilt top. They can come and help us match fabrics. It takes a lot to coordinate all the fabrics for a quilt.
Yes, because I mean, this obviously has a specific, but these are gorgeous too. Here, hold that one up for people to see.
So this one's lovely too.
And so you're matching the fabrics. So you all get together as a group and you're setting these all aside. Okay, so here's my question. Because these are so beautiful and so well done. Do you have to be a good quilter to be a member of this group?
If you want to just come and cut fabrics, you can do that. Or you can come and match fabrics. Like when someone brings a quilt top back, we need to find a backing for it. And we need to find a binding for it. And so the quilt top might be put together by one woman, then it's quilted by someone else, the binding's put on by someone else with the label. So a lot of hands touch the quilt before it's delivered.
That is so beautiful. And I love how you're doing this for good. How did that come about? How did it come about that you are giving this to seniors in care homes or homebound seniors?
Well, about 20 years ago, another woman in our quilt club named Oma started the idea. And it's just been kind of going for years and years. And I've been doing it for about 8 years now. And the idea is to make sure that patients in long-term care facilities that don't have someone to bring them something get a quilt. And they're lap-size quilts. So, you know, they don't take, it's not like making a king-size quilt. Right. So you don't have to be that experienced as a quilter. But yeah, so we want to make sure that those people get them. And then the homebound seniors that Catholic Charities serve.
For these seniors, if they're in wheelchairs, how does that work? Do you have specific sizes for anyone who might be sitting in a wheelchair?
Well, that's why we do lap-size quilts. They're about 45 by 60. And so that works well if you're in a wheelchair or if you're not in a wheelchair. It's just a lap-size quilt.
Okay, so now I'm going to ask a really silly question, but I imagine that a lot of this fabric is donated and that a lot of this is volunteer work, and these are not inexpensive quilts to make. So could someone who might have a drawer full of material commission a quilt from you guys on a donation basis? So then that way a quilt that you make me and my child could then benefit your group if I pay you for it. How does that work?
We haven't done that. But all the fabrics are donated.
Okay, so
The only thing that we have to buy is the batting that goes in the quilts, and our quilt club pays for that.
okay.
So if people want to donate
my
fabric,
selfish attempt. Enough about your good work, but can you do this for me? No. No, really and truly, ladies, this is amazing. So all of this fabric is donated, and that's great too, because let's say that you are going through an elder parent's home who maybe not be as mobile anymore and not be a crafter anymore. If you're finding drawers full of material, or we know what it's like when you are a crafter and you've got a whole bunch of shelves of material, right, that you haven't gotten to in a decade, and you've decided you want to, re-up your inventory, they can donate that to you, right?
Absolutely.
How does someone go about doing that?
well, they could email me at lovinglapse@gmail.com. Okay. That's the best way to reach me, and I will certainly get back to them right away.
Thank you both for everything that you are doing for the elders in our community. Thank you.
Thanks for having us.
You're watching 2+U Nevada. You are watching 2+U Nevada, and Clay Hall, President-elect of WIN Speaker Series, joins us this afternoon. Clay, thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks. Great to be here.
So tell us a little bit about WIN Speaker Series. I absolutely love this organization and attending these breakfasts.
Yeah, so WIN has been around, since 1968. It was started as Western Industrial Nevada. A bunch of guys came together and said, hey, we want to promote our warehousing space here in Northern Nevada. And it's morphed over time, and now it's called WIN Speaker Series. And we bring speakers in from outside the area to motivate and elevate and educate.
I have absolutely loved attending these breakfasts for years, because it seems like every time you leave, you've got like an actionable list of stuff that you can do to better your life, either personally or professionally.
Yeah, absolutely. And we touch on things that are relevant for folks. Right? So we've talked about social media, right, and how to engage. And you'd think, oh, social media, it's kind of overdone. But oh my gosh, I know what to do today on my LinkedIn page. We did a session on AI. Right.
That one was amazing.
That was great.
Oh my gosh, I took away so much on that.
Yeah. I actually implemented one of the tools in my inbox, and it saves me so much time.
Yeah.
You do learn things that are actionable that you can apply to your everyday life, whether personal or professional.
So when it comes to these events, how many do you hold a year?
We do 10 a year. And so we take some time off around the holidays. So our next one, comes up in December. But throughout the year, it's 10.
10 throughout the year, and they tend to be, was it the first Friday or the last Friday of the month?
It tends to be the last Friday of the month. Sometimes that changes based on, we try to skip some of when school's out. So you won't have an event in June. And then we come back, try to not make it so long since we've been gone. So it might be like mid-July, not,
Right. No, you're really smart with the calendar too, because you recognize, no one's going to be here if they're all out on summer break.
Exactly. And we found that out the hard way, right?
Right. And these breakfasts are held where?
They're held at the Atlantis. And there's signage when you get there. They start at 7:30. Doors open at 7:30. Program starts at 8 for networking, and they go to about 9:30.
And the speakers that you bring in, Clay, they aren't local speakers. You're bringing in speakers that are really well-known. You've brought in Olympians, you've brought in AI experts, like global experts. How do you source these speakers?
So we access some of the speakers bureaus, and usually they have really great referrals to us. And then also our personal networks. One of the people we brought in was somebody that I knew from LinkedIn, didn't actually know that person personally, but saw as real and said, hey, we should probably bring in this individual. And he was fantastic.
That's so cool. And I said at the beginning of this segment that you're president-elect.
Yep.
So you've got some massive shoes to fill, because this organization has been around so long. What are your future plans for WIN?
Well, right now it's getting my arms around, what we do. There are some great board members that are kind of helping, prime the pump for becoming the president next year. What I really foresee is making the networking more than just on those Fridays, though, is maybe having some other events. Maybe it's we meet for drinks and talk. Maybe it's, hey, what did y'all learn at the last one? And we all come together and talk about it. So there's some things like that, and some more check-ins with the members. so that they feel they're getting a little bit more value out of the organization than they might today.
Yeah. And maybe having those happy hours or get-togethers like that would be fun, because you can't have bottomless mimosas on a Friday before work.
Well, you could, but it wouldn't go well at the office.
Clay, this is so cool, and I am so excited that you are the incoming president-elect of WIN. For this organization, and it's so highly esteemed in the community, to have been around so long, there is really a secret sauce to WIN.
There is, and like most membership organizations, people challenged through. We're challenged through 2020 and 2021. We're coming back. We've got about 115 people on average that come in on those Fridays. We had 175 last time, so our goal is really to keep building that and build our membership.
I have to tell you guys, this is a little behind the scenes. The very first time I ever attended WIN, my co-anchor Brent Boynton said, "Sarah, you need to go to WIN. It's where the who's who of Reno goes to get to know one another." And he was the first person to take me to a WIN event, and I have loved it ever since. And for anyone who knows Brent Boynton, I just adored that man. So he's the one who introduced WIN to me.
Yeah, fantastic.
If anyone is interested in becoming a member of WIN, where do they go for more information?
You can go to winspeakerseries.com, and you can either register for an event, or you can look up and you can become a member.
Okay, and memberships are 1 year?
1 year, $389 for 1 year.
Oh, that's great.
And there's also a lot of sponsorship opportunities too for local businesses.
Clay, thank you so much for joining us this afternoon. You're watching 2+U Nevada. Are you a business or nonprofit and want to be featured on 2+U Nevada? Have a Mom to Mom Monday, a Tried It Tuesday, or even a cute pic you just want to show us? The whole point of 2+U Nevada is the plus you. You can send us your content by visiting our website. Head to 2news.com and click on 2+U Nevada. Or you can email us at 2+UNevada@ktvn.com. Now for some What in the World Wednesday. Snow sculptors from around the world are carving and chipping away at blocks of snow today in northeast China. It's part of an annual snow sculpture competition. The event, which began yesterday, is part of the Harbin International Ice and Snow Festival, a major winter spectacle. 25 teams are participating in this year's competition. That's it for this edition of 2+U Nevada. Thank you for inviting us into your home this afternoon. We look forward to joining you every weekday at 3 for 2+U Nevada. 2 News Nevada at 4 starts now.